special city council meeting to order. And I want to remind everybody that the meeting is being recorded, and your participation in this meeting is your consent to be recorded and rebroadcast on the city's YouTube channel later. I'll ask Tammy Boroff to do roll call, please. Tammy?
Chad Pryor.
Here.
Jim Miller.
Here.
Sherry Severs.
Here.
Mike Webb.
Here.
Attorney Mark Phillips.
Here.
And Mayor Charles Wyatt.
At this time, if you'd like to join with me, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You got previous notes?
No.
No previous
It's a
notes.
special meeting. I also, Mayor, for the record, Paige Simpson with Baker Tilly is on via Zoom.
Welcome, Paige. I don't have any mayor's updates right now. Try to get through this. Is there any citizens concerned? Would that be you, Lisa? Have you got something that's not on the agenda? If so, we'll entertain name, address for the record, please, and then what your request is,
Okay.
please.
I'm Lisa Bradshaw with Boonville Merchants Association. My address is 633 West Dagonia Road in Boonville. I'm here to request road closures and barricades for the Christmas parade. I have a diagram of those.
Is it any different than last year's?
No, no
Same-
difference.
Same route?
Same route.
Okay. Asking for road closures for the Christmas parade, if you want to see that. Council, any questions for Lisa?
No.
If not, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve Boonville Merchant Association road closures.
I got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything else we can do for you, Lisa?
No, I will forward this on to the chief of police.
Okay.
Mhm.
We might include that in our utility letter. You know, it just depends on how much space we got, so
That would be great.
There's Sean.
we'll, Sean's here.
Sean, can you hear us?
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, so let the record show that Sean Russell did sign on with Zoom.
Okay. So I've asked for citizens' concerns, council concerns, starting with Mr. Miller.
None.
Chad?
Last week, when I
Can you
was out
talk
of
in,
town.
they can't hear you in the back.
I don't think they're on. Hello?
Yeah, they're on.
The railroad tracks, you said you got a Norfolk, I guess.
I had contacted HWC, who's got the contact with Norfolk
Uh-huh.
Railroad, and they were going to try to see if they could persuade them to maybe do a little bit of tweaking on it. They had went to all the other sites, and that was the one they didn't think they really needed any attention on, but I said our council wanted attention on it, so I talked to her today, or last week about it, and Robin Winston called me today and was asking me about any railroad issues, because he also has got a link to try to help on projects, stuff like that. So we went at it two different ways.
Are they responsible for any of the asphalt, or are they just responsible for the tracks only? Because I mean, I think that's the, more of the problem is the asphalt.
You want the apron before it gets to the tracks?
Before and after, yeah,
Yeah, they own so far off.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's like a right of way.
okay.
yeah. But they've been asked not only through us several months back, but so we'll have two other follow-ups on it, so.
Okay. That's all.
Sherry?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Webb.
None.
Okay.
Sean?
Sean, anything?
Not at this time, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, sir. Old business. I don't have anything on the agenda. Under new business, we're moving on to levy excess appeals for the city. Tammy?
Yes.
You
We'll
want
let-
to direct who gets this one?
Paige, I'll let you go ahead and explain this to the council if you don't care.
Sure, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Perfect. So there is an Indiana code that permits a taxing unit to seek a permanent increase to the property tax levy if the average assessed value growth of that entity exceeds the statewide average by at least 2% over a 3-year period. So the statewide average this year is 9.91%, so almost 10%. The city of Boonville's 3-year average growth was almost 13%, and the Boonville Fire Territory was 15%. So based on that criteria, both entities are eligible to file this appeal. And so the steps basically is to first prepare the calculation, which we did, you're eligible. The second step is to complete the levy appeal application, which we're working on that. That actually requires a lot of justification because this is not an automatic approval by the state. It requires justification of the need for the additional levy, but most units that qualify for this type of appeal definitely need the levy increase because you're growing, and that's why you need the additional property taxes to cover expenditures related to the growth of your community. Now, unfortunately, this is the last year, your last opportunity to file for this type of appeal because Senate Enrolled Act 1 eliminated the 3-year growth excess levy appeal. So this is your final opportunity to file this appeal. Another step of the process is for you, the council, to approve a 1-page petition. And really all you're doing is approving the filing of the appeal with the Department of Local Government Finance. So I did provide a 1-page summary to the city. I don't know if you have that, but if not, I can just explain. We do not anticipate that the civil cities levy appeal, so excluding fire territory, the civil cities levy appeal will increase the tax rate. And the reason is because the growth in your net assessed value was so much such that you could have this levy appeal and put on an anticipated debt service with a levy of about $644,000 and still not increase the overall tax rate. So that's fantastic. It's you're getting additional property tax. You can also issue debt if you need to for capital projects, and we don't anticipate any sort of property tax increase because, again, your assessed value has grown by quite a bit. I mean, it was the 3-year average was 13%. So no, we do not anticipate any impact to taxpayers' tax bills for the city. Now, any questions before I move on?
Just one. You said we've got one opportunity, that's this year. Now, is that just for 1 year, or or we have to file this, or we never get to file it again?
You'll never get to file it again.
Okay.
The city has been successful with these appeals in the past, but unfortunately, Senate Enrolled Act 1 eliminated it. So unless the statute changes to put them back, this is the absolute final opportunity to take advantage of this type of appeal.
Thank you, Paige.
You're welcome. So that was the civil city, and so the fire territory, again, is, oh, I forgot to tell you how much you're qualified to get. For the civil city, you're qualified for a levy increase of $381,379. You won't collect all of that because there is a circuit breaker offset, but the net impact is an increase to your tax levy. So that's a good thing, and we always recommend that growing communities file these types of appeals unless you just simply don't need the money. But again, that's what was so good about these appeals is it's for growing communities, and it really is disappointing to see that this was eliminated from the statute. So the fire territory is also qualified. They're qualified to file an appeal of $215,601. So $215,601. And this will increase the overall tax rate for the fire territory, not by much though. It's less than 2 cents. It's 0.0176. There's a very minimal impact to the taxpayer, but it depends on where the taxpayer's property is. So within Boonville, any property values that are 92,000 and above, so within the city limits, 92,000 and above, there will be no impact for the fire territory appeal. And so we looked at a home value that's 90,000, since it's below the circuit breaker cap, and that would only be a $5 annual increase, so very minimal. Victoria Woods was about the same thing. All properties in Victoria Woods that are 100,000 and above will have zero impact. Those under, like a $90,000 property, minimal impact is just $5 for the whole annual impact. Boone Township is impacted the most. They have probably no properties hitting the tax caps now. I mean, the tax cap is 5.1 million, so it would have to be a property value above 5.1 million. So most properties will be impacted. We picked a value, a property value that was the average for Boone County, which is 280,000, and that impact is $26 for the whole year. So not very big impact, but Boone Township folks are impacted the most. But again, for the average property value, you're probably looking at about $25, $26 for the whole year. So that is all that I had to present. Any questions for me?
So Paige, on the fire territory, there's 2 other steps, 2 other boards that have to approve this.
Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that. Yes, because the fire territory serves the city of Boonville, Victoria Woods, and Boone Township, unincorporated, all those 3 boards, so the city council, the town board, and the township advisory board all need to approve this petition. That is something fairly new in the statute that was put in a few years ago. It used to be that just the city council would approve the petition to appeal for a fire territory, but now it's all the participating units that are a part of that fire territory. And Victoria Woods and Boone Township are well aware of this, and we've had a couple meetings so far. Or as early as today, we had another meeting this afternoon to explain the process.
Stephen, do you want to address the board on why you feel like it's important that they do this for you?
Yeah, you know, we've had a lot of growth in our area.
Come up to so they can hear in the back, get it recorded.
There we go.
Sorry.
We've had experienced a lot of growth in our area, and as everyone knows, the cost of equipment's going up. With that growth, we get additional call volume that we have to respond to with very limited revenue coming in. And then under Senate Bill 1, we will be losing the public safety local income tax. And we're also looking at some point, we're going to have to add a full-time inspector. We've got over 1,100 commercial properties in our coverage area that have to be inspected annually. And we can't do that right now with having an inspector that's on shift in between calls, or I have to pay him overtime to go out and do inspections and follow-up inspections. So we have a heavy burden to try to overcome, and you know, this is a step to kind of help with that.
How many have we got right now we're taking care of?
We can do anywhere from like 240 to 260 a year. That's with one inspector who's on shift, working 24-hour shifts, you know, doing inspections on the days he works, and then having to do follow-up inspections.
But they're dumping, the state's dumping this on this.
Yes,
township.
yeah, they've told us that starting in 2026 that it's going to be on the locals to do the annual inspections, and the only way they'll get involved with commercial inspections is if we have citations. They'll come down and deal with that.
Okay. Any questions for Steve?
I do have a question. What is the current population of this city?
The last I was about 6,800 people. We went up 500 people since the last census. So.
What's
And
your
then
total?
and we've added too. We've added since that 6,800. sorry.
What's your total area that you cover?
It's almost 89 square miles.
Well, the inspection stuff that's getting dumped on us, that's troubling because it's troubling. Any other questions for Paige and/or Stephen?
Do you need these individually?
Yes. I'm gonna do the city one first. Just that you're approving the petition to appeal for the increase above the maximum levy.
I'll make a motion to appeal the levy excess appeal for the city. If you need more than that, you need to repeat it.
For the excess property tax levy in the amount of $381,379.
For the excess property tax levy in the amount of $381,379.
We got a second?
I will second.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Next.
Okay, so you guys need to
Sign.
sign under the for or the against, whichever. I think everybody voted for that.
What I picked up.
Okay, and then the fire territory one. Now, if they do not approve it at the township, there's nothing we can do, right? It just dies? Or if the Victoria,
Right, the township, the fire territory one will die, but the city will go through.
right.
Yeah.
That's the 215,601.
Yes.
Okay.
And Paige, that is not the fire territory board that we have here, it's the actual township board, right?
Correct, it's
Okay.
the actual township board and the town council of Victoria Woods.
Right, okay.
Okay.
So Paige, it has to be approved by Victoria Woods and the Boone Township Board.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, all three entities, you, Boone Township, and Victoria Woods.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the petition to appeal for an increase above the maximum levy for the Boonville Fire Territory in the amount of $215,601.
Got a motion and a second. I'll ask Tammy, well, I'll just ask for roll call, not roll call. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. The next order of business, I've got a request for reimbursement for tree removal.
All right, this was what we talked about at the last council meeting, the Holland tree from Quail that fell on their property. So I had them gather the documents so you could see how much it cost them total to have it removed.
Yeah.
And part of the tree that the tree service took off was still on city property, and so I got an estimate from S&S how much that would have cost if we would have done that on our own, and they said about $500 was the estimate. And so the request for reimbursement is only for the 500, which is the amount it would have cost us to remove the rest of that tree. Because the Hollands paid for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for reimbursement for the tree removal in the amount of $500.
Got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Okay. Thank you. All right, finished paperwork here. You got claims there?
Yes.
The only thing in front of us, I guess, is approval of claims, council claims.
I make a motion to approve all properly documented claims.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. The next order of business is adjournment.
I make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
I got a motion and second to adjourn the Boonville City Council meeting. All in favor of that motion and second signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your work.